Dan Wetzel, he covers college football for the Mothership College Game Day podcast, New York Times best-selling author. When did the investigation begin at Michigan, from what you've been told?
So Michigan got a tip earlier in the fall about this situation. I think there was an investigation then that did not come up with any of the proof that they needed. More information came to light recently, leading to, I think, a big revelation on Wednesday, which led to what they called credible evidence, which led to the Sharon Moore's immediate firing.
What do you think?
It was a process.
What do you think changed here in the last 48 hours?
I think they got proof that he had an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. I mean, you cannot have the boss. I mean, it's just university policy. It's his contract. That's pretty much any company in the country. So once they were able to have what they called credible evidence or proof that occurred, I don't think there was any hesitation at that point. I mean, this isn't great timing for Michigan. I'm sure. If they probably wish they could have known 3 weeks ago and put them in a different spot as they try to make a hire. So, but I think they just got that. They got that final information or the proof, and that was it.
What questions do you have today?
Well, there's a lot. We're waiting for the official details on exactly, not so much what got him fired. I think we can all figure that one out, but what happened after? And, look, he was the Pittsfield Township Police, which is just outside of Ann Arbor, said they were called to this residence at 4:10 p.m. We broke the story maybe about 4:35 that he had been fired, and at 4:46, the university put out a statement saying he had been fired. So fairly recently after he was fired, he went almost immediately to this house. What happened between him being informed? I don't know the exact time when he was informed, but I think the team meeting was going on while he was there. So what happened there? What happened at this residence that led to an investigation for an alleged assault? Where was he in that time frame? And those details, I think, because he's now obviously sitting in custody, waiting to see whether the Washtenaw County prosecutor will charge him.
Now you got it. The coaching search is on. And as you said, if they knew 3 weeks ago, Matt Campbell's now in play for them and a couple other opportunities as well. So they got to expedite everything, and they got to keep everybody on board. You got recruits who just signed up that, their quarterback, Bryce Underwood. Now LSU may go, hey, do you want to now come to LSU? I mean,
right.
It feels like everything's on the table, but if you were doing a short list here, who would you go after if you're Michigan?
Well, I think that the short list, and this is the problem. And I think, Dan, I've been on the show a long time with you. I think I'm pretty skeptical of timing and all the things. I don't see how there's a lot of skepticism. Why did this happen today for Michigan? I'm like, I don't see how this was beneficial to them. Obviously, they would have had a different set of candidates. A number of candidates were hired. A number of others signed extensive deals to stay that potentially likely take them off the market. Now, maybe they were willing to sign an extension because they weren't really a candidate at Penn State, or they didn't want the Penn State job or the Florida job, but Michigan is a little bit different. But a guy like Matt Campbell, he's available a couple weeks ago, and he isn't now. I would say that the candidates are going to be Alabama's Kalen DeBoer. Whether they can get him to leave. He has a very good situation in Alabama. People close to that situation talk about, his recruiting class, not a lot of kids hitting the portal, momentum of the program and all that. The downside, you're following Nick Saban. If you don't win national titles, fans go, what's up? You go 10-2 and make the playoffs every year at Michigan, they're pretty happy. So he's going to be a candidate, whether he's interested or not. I think, Jed Fish up at Washington, Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, and a host of other candidates, and maybe some of these guys that, again, they signed a deal to stay. Maybe Michigan changes their mind. Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, who obviously is working under Harbaugh, had been at the University of Michigan. It would be a popular choice there. Michigan's an interesting job, though. You could get all sorts of different NFL interests that maybe wouldn't go for another position in the thing. It's a nice mix, that school. I mean, it's chaotic. They're constantly in scandal, but it's a nice mix of like, we can win. We have the resources. We have the money, the alums, the stadium, the brand, all of that. But, and I hate to say it's not chaotic because it's always chaotic in Michigan, but like the governor of Michigan is not going to be involved in the search. Okay, the fans aren't expecting five national titles in the next 7 years. So there's some, and Ann Arbor is a good place to live, and the Detroit airport's right there, big airport. So some of the things that maybe an NFL coach is going, I don't want to go to a college town out in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot. Michigan has a lot of appeal that maybe a couple other jobs wouldn't.
He's Dan Wetzel, the Mothership, host, College Game Day podcast, New York Times best-selling author. What do you think is the end game for Notre Dame after Pete Bavacqua came on and talked about the permanent damage done by the ACC to Notre Dame?
I think Notre Dame will calm down, and there's nothing will come of it. I'm this 3-day press tour. You started it all, Dan.
Yeah.
You started it. It's really your fault.
Yep.
I think I don't know what this was, but I think there was a lot of people at Notre Dame very upset, and if you see the AD coming out doing you don't see Marcus Freeman, you don't see the president of the school or anything like that. You see him taking this, and I don't know. I mean, it's not permanent damage. There's no permanent damage in college athletics. I mean, you can be dead enemies today and best friends tomorrow. It doesn't matter. My thing with Notre Dame, I thought Notre Dame was capable of winning the national title. The playoff would be a heck of a lot better with them in it. It's really disappointing, and I get how the players are disappointed. This entire, argument about how the playoff worked would have been solved if the ACC had a different tiebreaker for the fifth determination of a 5-way tiebreak. If they just did rankings instead of whatever the heck they had.
Yeah.
We would have had a ACC championship game of Miami versus Virginia. Miami either wins, gets the automatic bid, Notre Dame is in, or Virginia wins, and you say, sorry, Miami, you got 3 losses at this point, and Notre Dame is in. And we only have one group of 5. Like, people want to blow the whole thing up. It's a tiebreaker at the 5th level. Like, it wasn't good. And the ACC should have seen it coming and changed it. But when you go, there's two ways to get in the playoff, right? You win your conference championship, or you get in this at-large, back alley knife fight where anything can happen. People get left out for this criteria, that. You don't know what's coming. Notre Dame sees their independence as great value. It's more valuable than being in a conference. So they are going to be in this mix every single time. And last year it worked out for them. It didn't for Alabama and Miami. This year it worked out for Alabama and Miami, not for Notre Dame. You don't know. But if Notre Dame didn't alert their players and their coaches, if the administration wasn't sitting there going in on Sunday saying, guys, this is a coin flip, we got no idea, and you just walk it in saying, don't worry, everything's good, we're in, you have not paid any attention to the way this works the last 14 years. You are paid a lot of money to not be blindsided. And they said, well, we're blindsided, and that's what's bothering us. We don't like nobody likes the process. You cannot be blindsided in this job. So I think there was a real dereliction of letting the players know, because I think they would be less disappointed if they walked in saying, hey, this stinks. It stinks. We could have won it, but it wasn't the rug pulled out. There is no rug in the at-large selection process.
Yeah, I'm telling my friends who are Notre Dame grads, they'd be like, what do you think? I go, it's up in the air, prior to it. So if I felt that, Pete Bavacqua and Marcus Freeman should have felt that as well. Before I let you go, had a source who told me that the Big Ten is pushing for 24 playoff teams. They want to get 4 automatic qualifiers, at least. We're going to go from 12 to 16, it feels like. I don't think we're ready to go from 12 to 24. But your thoughts?
Yeah, the 24 is a horrible plan. I mean, it's terrible, because it's not even 24, because what the Big Ten wants to do is they take their 4 bids and they want to play 3 games on the conference championship weekend. with their 1 and 2 would still play. So last year, if it was this year, Indiana, Ohio State still play for the conference title, and then 3 would play 6. And so I don't know what they'd be, but like Iowa is like 6 maybe, and then Michigan is 5, and 4 would play 5. So you can call it a 2014 playoff, but once you start having play-in rounds, that's the playoff also. So it quickly becomes like a 32 team playoff. Like if you extract it out, all this is a terrible idea. It's just a terrible idea. The North Star of college football needs to be to balance maintaining the importance of the regular season, which is the best in sports, with a inclusive and big, exciting playoff. And I'll give you an example why this 12 is working. First weekend of the year, Notre Dame lost to Miami. It cost them. And there was another one for first weekend of the year. I can't remember now. That one's cost them, right? So when you go into next year, watching on the first week, Labor Day weekend, and there's a big matchup between 2 top 10 teams, losing matters. You just can't sit there and be like, oh, we got 5 losses. We came in 6th in the Big Ten. We're good. We still got a chance. Nobody thinks Michigan should have another chance. They weren't that good. They only had 3 losses. So that plan is, I don't even know if the people who come up with those plans even like college football. I get what they're trying to make money,
Yes.
but like there's got to be something for the fans of this sport where you maintain something before we don't just go from 4 to what's really 32 teams. If you extract that plan out, that's crazy.
Yeah, but that makes me nervous when you said it's a terrible idea. That's when they go, hey, you know what? Everybody come into the deep end of the pool. We'll figure it out later. That's always they go, let's do this, and then we'll figure it out after the fact. That's why we get into these situations with college football. Not to mention college basketball is going to expand as well. They're going to go.
Who's asking for that? Who is asking for that? You know who's asking? Coaches and athletic directors who have bonuses in their contract that they get in the. Nobody is asking for that, and they make big decisions on a whim to try to solve the last problem that the big decision created. So now they're like, well, the problem is our league is too big. Well, listen, Big Ten, who the heck told you to go blow up the Pac-12? That's a you problem, not our problem. You destroyed that league. You destroyed the old Big East. You altered, like, the Big Ten wreaks havoc on college athletics with their bad ideas, followed by the next. It's like my golf game, Dan. A fix on a fix on a fix. The slice, and now I'm. So this is a terrible plan. I think they will go to 16. I think 16 works if they eliminate the conference championship weekend. Speed this thing up. Everybody gets in. More home games too. Please, can the fans attend a game at their own stadium, not be told only the rich people that can fly to Glendale for this weekend and New Orleans the next weekend, they're the only fans that get to 10 games.
Well, that's another story though for another day, Dan. The future of these bowl games. I maintain. Why don't we start the year with these bowl games so you can have matchups that maybe you wouldn't have, and maybe the Pool and Weed Eater Bowl survives, and maybe the Pop-Tart Bowl survives. But you get some good matchups at the beginning of the year if you're going to expand to 16 teams.
What was the last bowl game that closed, Dan? I think it was the Blue Bonnet Bowl or something.
The Astro
They don't
Blue
go
Bonnet
out
Bowl.
of business. They don't go out of business. I've been hearing for 20 years that the bowl industry is dead. They keep making more bowls. You know why? People like to watch football. And they like to gamble on football, and they will play 2 6-6 teams will play it like the New Mexico Bowl, and 3 million people will watch.
Isn't there a 5-win team?
Everyone's 5-7. We don't care. You can watch a game between the 7th place ACC team against the 6th place Big Ten team played in Fenway Park, baseball stadium named after Wasabi computer security, and you're like, I'm all in. I got to watch this game, hon. These games don't go out of business. They never go out of business. You and I will buy any game that wants to go out of business. These are cash cows. These guys are crying poverty. Sorry, your game doesn't matter as much. There's 40 of them now. How many were there 20 years ago when this thing was dying? 20.
The people you work for now, that's the reason why we got 40 bowl games, because they need programming.
And as we should.
Okay.
We're just serving the public, Dan.
He is ESPN senior writer. I hope I didn't, upset you today.
Why? What'd you do?
Oh, I don't know. You just seem like you were fired up there.
I'm naturally passionate. I just like talking
good.
to you.
All right.
It's been a while. Jeez.
I know.
Yeah, get me on bowl games. I'm ready. I'm not upset. I mean, love it.
Thanks.
Listen, I think the Pop-Tart Bowl we need to protect the sanctity of the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Of course we do.
We really do. So
that'll be your legacy.
Thanks, Dan.
That's your legacy.
That'll be it.
Yeah.
I will die on that hill. Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. That's Dan Wetzel, ESPN senior writer, host of College Game Day podcast, New York Times bestselling author.